How's it going, guys? It's me, the Double Taku, and we will be needing this episode because we are going to talk about episode 9 of Netoge. And for one, it doesn't really contain a lot of gaming. Actually, it kind of does. But for one, do I dare call this a filler episode? It sort of is. Episode 7 and 8 was like, it was like, things happened, and I admit episode 8 was pretty good. The whole hacker thing and the wedding thing was okay. Mostly the wedding part, but I guess episode 9 was sort of like a toned down thing, just relaxing episode filler for the series, where we have all the girls spend the last day of summer, I believe, from what I get of it, or they just spend like a day together in Master's house, or I don't even know her real name, god darn it. Anyways, this episode, I was just sort of meh with it because, it's just like, oh, the girls are just hanging out together on the house doing stuff. I believe they're studying or doing their homework because Akko is a procrastinator, master procrastinator. And yeah, they just spend the night in a master's house with like a giant mansion and butlers and maids and everything. And they do some wacky stuff and they shower together, they play games maybe. We see Master's freaking amazing gamer setup where she has like freaking monitors everywhere. That was the shit. And they sleep there in the bed, and then eventually they get an argument where like Russian comes in and is just like, oh, maybe maybe Akko's thinking is not crazy after all, and like all the girls start agreeing with Akko and whatnot. So yeah, it's really, that's basically the gist of what happens. Like, this episode is, I don't want to do I dare call it filler. Like, yeah, it's just like, like that big thing that happened last time, and here's something to call yourself with. But I'll give this episode some props, right? Because for one, the episode does do something differently for once, and for that reason is the thing that they do differently in this episode is that they do not involve Russian technically until the end. But in this episode we don't have Russian whatsoever here. It's just the girls, and we finally sort of, I guess in this episode we do sort of see like how the girls act towards one another without anyone else, or just like the Russian and the club. It's just girls being girls and doing whatever. That's sort of what I got from the gist of this episode, because for one, you see them all act differently around each other. Mostly Akko, because she's still shy of Sete-san, I believe her name is. I don't know her name. I just know everyone by their game names. And then you see Schwein and Master like talking and conversating in the game room and whatnot. And like, yeah, you just see the four girls like being girls without Russian, and it's sort of such a different tone when I was thinking about, or like when I was watching it, because it's like you don't see like Akko talking to Russian or like acting all couple-like anymore. It's just the girls being themselves, and that's really all it was. And it's like, it's a unique change of pace, because for one, of course, you don't see Russian, and like, it's like, oh, these characters are just girls too, let them do whatever the frick they want. And then you had the whole bath scene, and then things happened, and then like, I don't know, that's basically this episode. This episode was like I don't say like the weakest one, but I'm thinking it is. I don't want to say it because there's freaking girls doing whatever the frick they were doing, but like, I think this is probably the most boringest episode ever. I'm gonna rephrase that. This is the least entertaining episode in the series. For one, I will say that it wasn't boring because you just see the adventures of everyone doing whatever the frick they're doing, right? But it wasn't all the very coolest one. Okay, I don't want to say this episode sucked, because it didn't suck, but it wasn't the best entertaining one. I guess that's what I'm trying to say in words. And then afterwards, like they have Akko and Russian. We see Russian's character at least. He's like, he got his stuff back at least. That's cool. But I mean, that's basically all this episode. I really have nothing to say about this episode, guys. I can't apologize. So for one, I'm going to go talk about this series in general now, because why not? Because this is sort of not proving, but this episode sort of, whatchamacallit, it sort of proceeded, it made me it drove me more to thinking that the series was getting a little boring, or just it's just generic, right? Like, they have their cool moments, and then the rest of the series is just generic with Akko being so Akko, and then like, you know, nothing really happening in a sense. And this episode, of course, is just sort of a thing to separate the arcs or whatever. I guess it is a filler. Frick it, it's a filler, because you know episode 7 and 8 was like this one thing, and then 10 and 11, because I know I've seen those episodes already, they're another thing, so it's just a filler. It honestly is. Like, I can't say anything else about it. So anyways, I'm gonna end the episode there because I really have nothing else to say on this freaking video except that the girls have a sleepover at Master's house. That's it, to be honest. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for episode 10, 11, where we get some action going on. And subscribe when that comes out. And of course, when episode 12 comes out for the series, I'll be showing off my conclusion and my final thoughts on this series, even though you guys are kind of seeing it right now as I talk about it as we speak. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys are doing well, so take care, guys. I'll see you guys on the next video on the Domotaku MHL, so take care, guys, and matane, and keep on gaming. No more sleepovers. I mean, go ahead, have sleepovers and LAN party and whatnot.